What's going on? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to give you the ultimate guide on how to start an Airbnb business for absolutely free. You heard me, absolutely free. Now, you've probably been scouring the internet. You've been on Google, you've been on YouTube, you've been everywhere trying to figure out how to get into the Airbnb industry, and you probably didn't have the money, you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the good credit, you didn't know where to start, what to do, and how to really get into this industry. But today, I'm gonna break it down for you step by step, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to get started in Airbnb for absolutely free. Now, first things first, guys, make sure you click the follow button, subscribe, and if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns after this video, I want you to leave them in the comments below. And I also have a discovery call link where you can talk to me for absolutely free, no obligations, and I'll be able to answer some of your questions, but you have to be able to watch the video to make sure I don't answer anything that you might have. Let's go ahead and jump in the video and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. I want to be able to break this down for you. I want you to follow along. If you have pen, paper, take that out. If you have a calculator, take that out as well, because we're going to do a lot of numbers. Now, I told you I'm going to show you how to get into the Airbnb space without any upfront money. Now, I want you to understand what I'm about to show you is something that many people really don't know about, or they're not willing to tell you about. So I want you to pay attention and let's get into it. All right. First things first, guys, Airbnb.com. Now, Airbnb is not new. It's something that has been around for a very long time, but the industry that you're really wanting to get in is called short-term rentals, okay? Short-term rentals. You have long-term rentals, which is going to be like your year, 2-3 year lease, and then you have short-term rentals, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a couple of months, things like that, but not a full-term lease. So that's a short-term short-term rental. STR is also what Airbnb is. You have Airbnb, you have HomeAway, you have all these different platforms. Airbnb is literally a platform, right? And you're doing a short-term rental business. So that's going to be number one. When you're going to talk to these landlords or these property owners, make sure you're using the word short-term rental and not Airbnb, okay? Now, Airbnb, if you've never been on it, you don't know, if you've never done it, I'm going to show you, okay? So let's say we're traveling to Houston, Texas, and we want to go October 13th to October 18th. It's going to be myself and a few friends, right? So October 13th to the 18th, 4 guests, and we're going to be going to Houston, Texas. Now, what's going to happen is a map is going to pull up and it's going to show different properties. Now, when you have these different properties, they're going to show you bed, bath, they're going to show you all the amenities, they're going to tell you everything that you need to know inside of the listing. But I want to just use a few things for example. Now, when you're looking to get into the industry, you got to pay attention to this. Airbnb has been around for a very long time at this point, so there's a lot of saturation in certain areas. So I want you to look at the map, right? So you see right here, this is called a cluster. There's a lot of stuff already happening in this area. So for you to come in and want to put your Airbnb in the middle of all this cluster, you're going to have a ton of competition. That's what you don't want. You don't want to compete with people as soon as you come into the game, because they already have the reviews, they already have the listing up, they've already, figured out all the kinks for their listing. So you trying to get in here is going to be very, very hard. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to get into the Airbnb industry is that they don't do this part right here, which is called the homework, right? You have to go and do the homework. Understand what's around you, what's happening. Do not go and just get an Airbnb at an apartment complex and you just throw it up. You don't know if they allow it. You're lying to them. You're scheming. You're plotting. You don't know if there's 20 other Airbnbs in the area. You just know that you want to get an Airbnb, so you're just going to throw up a listing. That is absolutely what you don't want to do, okay? So right here, so we got a cluster. Now in this cluster, I don't want to be in here, okay? So even if we open this up, you're going to start to see more properties pop up. I'm looking for areas that aren't super saturated, okay? Like right here, we have 2 properties that are kind of close, but there's nothing really around here. You have a major highway here, you have another major highway here, so you're kind of in between. Now in here, it's tons of properties. So what I'm gonna look for is I'm gonna kind of go out and look for areas that only have a few things. Now, if you're looking for maybe something by your house or something like that, maybe this might not work. So you have to go where the money is, right? We go where money makes sense. We're not going to just go because it's convenient. You have to go where it makes sense. So right in here, I like this area. It has 3 properties that are kind of close. You have a major street here, but I like this one right here, the 124. Okay, the 124, it's a home. Okay, a home and an apartment, 2 different things. A home is a house, an apartment is an apartment. Now, a lot of times with apartments, guys, they don't allow Airbnb, some of those things they're just not okay with. So you want to call and you want to ask if they allow corporate housing. Okay, corporate housing is something that apartment complexes are very familiar with, so they will be okay with corporate housing. Now, we got this home right here. This home right here is saying that they have 8 guests, 3 bedrooms, 6 beds, 2 baths, okay? The reason I want you to see this is I want you to be able to see what you're up against if you go to this area. You want to look at the kind of furniture they have. You want to look at the decor. You want to look at the setup. All of that stuff is going to matter if you plan to compete what's around you, okay? So you got to be able to bring your unit to the standard of what's in the area. You don't want to just throw anything in here and just throw up anything and think, oh, I'm going to get all these bookings. It does not work like that, okay? So they've put some bunk beds in here, so you're able to sleep 4 people in this one single room, okay? So you look at those bunk beds are great. They're a great feature. I love that. Okay, so we have a dining table. We have a kind of like a high table, which is still in the dining room. Great house, good size. 3 bedrooms. You got, maybe this is a double bed, so I think that's like a double for maybe 2. Then you have a king in the master bedroom. So that's how they're able to sleep 6 people. Okay, so well, 8 guests. They're able to sleep 8 guests because of the room setups. Okay, so now when you go and look at this, right, it's $124 a night. $124 a night. If we go here, it's gonna be $819, right? $819. If we go to the next step, it's gonna show a breakdown. Okay, October 13th to the 18th for guests. You can add insurance, whatever the case may be, but at walkaway, it's going to be $862. Now, I say all that to say this. Before you get into this industry, I want you to do some simple math. And I'm going to pull out my calculator really quick. We're going to do some simple math together. Again, if you have your pen and paper out, follow along with me. Now, let's say this property right here is going for $124 a night. I have it for 5 nights. So $124 a night. And let's just say the calendar only books for 15 nights, because I hate when people come in, they think your calendar is going to book 30 days every single month. That is not the reality, guys. Please, please be realistic with yourself. Do not set yourself up for failure, okay? So $124, let's just go half of the calendar. 15 nights, right? That's $1,860. $1,860 is what you would make if you booked half of the month at $124. Okay. Now let's add on your utilities. You have your lights. Let's say your lights is $200. You say you have your internet, it's $100. Okay. And let's say you have your security system and things like that. Okay. This is your monthly number to make sure that you are able to pay rent, be able to cover your utilities and everything that you have involved. It's going to be about $2,260. Okay. $2,260. Now, with that being said, you have to keep that in mind as you're going through this process. So when you go to get a property, whether it's apartment or a house, you have to make sure that you calculate those numbers. Even before you get started, when you want to get into the industry of Airbnb, do that from the beginning. Okay, that's just on this house. Now, I'm sure this home is the rent. So this property is probably $2,200 to $2,500 a month because it's a 3-bedroom house. Now, I could be off by some numbers, but I'm going to go low end $2,200. Higher end $2,800, so we'll say around $2,500, right? Just for number's sake. So let's say the rent is $2,500. You're barely making $200 of profit if you only book 15 nights at $124. So you have to make things make sense, okay? Now let's say you want to get started. Just getting started. Right now, you're probably watching this video. You say, I have about $5,000 to get started. I have $2,000 to get started. Now let's just say your rent is $2,000. $2,000, and most of the time they're going to ask you for first and last rent. So let's just multiply that by 2. So out the gate, first in deposit, first and last, $4,000 out the gate. Now I always like to allot $1,000 per room. $1,000 per room. That's your bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. You have your kitchen, you have your bathrooms, okay? So let's just do the numbers. Now let's say you have a 3-bedroom house. So that's going to be $3,000. So I'm going to put $3,000. And then you have your living room and your bathroom. So I'll allot another $1,000. Okay, so we're already at $8,000. $8,000 is what it's going to cost for you to get started in the industry right now with Airbnb. Okay, now let's just say you don't use a $2,000 property. Let's just say you use $1,200. Your rent is a $1,200 property rent, and you got a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, 1,200 times 2, which is first and last, 2,400. You got 2 bedrooms, $2,000, and then you got a kitchen, bathrooms, all that. So we're going to add $1,000. So you're at $5,400 all in. $5,400 all in. Right now, at the time of this video, ask yourself, how much money am I willing to put into this industry, into this business to start today, right? The next 30 days, how much money am I willing to invest, okay? So boom, you got that. So now that we know that, guys, I want to break this down and show you another way. Okay, if you made it to this part of the video, you're actually someone who's invested in learning a new skill set and learning how to get into the Airbnb space without having to invest $5,000, $10,000. Today, I'm going to show you how to get into Airbnb for absolutely free, right? If you want to know that, continue watching the next video or next part of the video. But if you are like, hey, I got it, I want to do it, make sure that that's what you want to do and jump in and be great and be successful. But if that's not you and you want to learn how to do it for free, keep watching the video.